And the stream is live on the D Spot and Kiyan Sobhani as well. ¿Qué pasa, campeones? Welcome to Churros y Tacticas. Today, we're going to go over Matchday 2 for Barça and Real Madrid. A close call for the Catalans and the Blancos as well. Let's get into it. Cue.
Sorry, I usually have it ready to go, but today I didn't. So my apologies. The production team dropped the ball today. Apologies.
Heads are gonna be rolling after this one, Kiyan. Listen, good to talk to you again. Welcome to Churros. First and foremost, let me myself give a heartfelt and sincere apology to all of the Patreon viewers, listeners out there for dropping the ball, for not coming with the goods on Thursday or Friday. There was no Patreon edition, and we will make it up to you. I take full responsibility and blame on that one. It's fully and solely on mine. And like I said, it will be paid back in dividends. A certain somebody I think that people will be very interested hearing from is lined up. And I want to keep it a surprise for now because I think I want to deliver it in a way, Kiyan, that has its impact. In fact, the person that will come on doesn't speak any English, Kiyan. So that was kind of another reason why, in the end, I had to pull the stop on that one.
You also were sick. I mean,
and I was under the I had a summer.
What you should bring up. It was not lazy.
I do, but it was like a man. I did have the flu, but we should still be able to record for our patrons, even if we.
Hey man, if Michael Jordan can play in a final team with the flu, I think we can turn our mics on.
Come on now. So that's yeah. Anyway, that being said, let's get into this one. Matchday 2 is done and dusted. I've enjoyed this one. I saw more matches than I usually would from LaLiga EA Sports. I saw the Osasuna. What was it? Osasuna Mallorca, was it?
You already forgot.
It was Espanyol Real Sociedad.
What was the point, Diego?
What was the point? Real Sociedad Espanyol. That was a good one, man. I definitely enjoyed that one. Was surprised again by Athletic and taken aback by how good Villarreal is looking this season. Of course, just 2 match days in, but so far so good for the Yellow Submarine.
Shout out to Canadian Tajon Buchanan, who scored a hat-trick yesterday for Villarreal against Girona. Because I missed that one, and I was just looking at some stats today, and I was like, Buchanan from Canada, 3 goals, tied with Mbappe for Pichichi. I was like, wow. And then I realized he had a hat-trick yesterday. That's, off top of my head, it's got to be the first Canadian hat-trick in La Liga ever.
Hey,
probably.
You should, I would
assume. It's a big moment.
That's huge. Is Canadian news not running wild with this one?
Funny enough, I don't think so. I was at the gym this morning on the treadmill for a long time looking at the sports news. I didn't see it anywhere. Shows you how much we give a fuck here about it.
Damn. That's not a good look for La Liga. I wonder if it's in if it would be in the Premier League. Yeah, but if it's in the Premier League, I feel that it would have caught more steam, no? Maybe?
Yes. It's very possible no one in Canada even knew it happened.
And that is why Villarreal and Barça are playing a game in North America. You see? Put that Villarreal on the map, baby. Get Canada the respect they deserve.
Yeah.
So why don't we take this one chronologically, Kiyan? It started, at least in my case, with, of course, the Levante-Barça match. That was a close call. Barça going down 2-0 to eventually make their way back in an impressive comeback once again. Came across a very strange stat. The first comeback since 1962 from 2 goals down away at another team, in Levante in this case. And I was like, surely that's not the case, because I was thinking of last year Inter, but it's in La Liga specifically. So it wasn't a guarantee. And the way that the first half played out, I kind of felt like we were only going to get better in the second half. I don't know if you did watch the game, right? No, you were tweeting, actually. Yeah, you gave
Levante Barça. Yeah, I watched it. Yeah.
Yes, yes, yes. So what did
Fully
you
knowing
make
what
the
was going to
first half?
happen, but I watched it
You
the
did actually. I
the
saw that
torture
tweet.
chamber anyway.
So you were that convinced that we were going to walk away with 3 puntos, or were you just jinxing it? Or,
I mean, there's always a subconscious jinx in there,
well,
just
but what
so.
you saw, so because I felt like it was a tale of two halves. First half, unimpressed by what I saw from Flick's side. It felt like Barça came out definitely second gear, definitely kind of taking this as still an early game. I don't want to say a summer friendly, but we didn't see the urgency necessarily from a team that had its changes. Obviously, I appreciate the effort from Flick trying to. I don't want to use the word shoehorn, but I just did. Marcus Rashford in the starting 11 there, giving the Englishman a chance. I think it was didn't work out, on this occasion. But and the second half with the substitutions, especially of Gavi, I think gave Pedri a needed boost in that midfield to allow the Canary to be a lot more creative as well. And of course, I mean, what an absolute stunning goal from the best midfielder at the moment in La Liga. Just unstoppable at black.
At the moment, yes, you're right. Yeah, at
Well,
the
yeah, I'm
moment.
giving you that because I know how sensitive you are about these things, and your viewers especially. So I want it to be, let's start
Actually, I
from
don't know.
scratch.
At the moment, we gotta Chouameni, man, is balling out of his balling out right
Pedri,
now.
hands down, the best midfielder that has ever been in La Liga. What am I talking about? Thank you for making me come to
Ever,
my
ever,
senses
yeah,
again.
ever,
Ever,
yeah.
ever.
Shots,
And
throwing shade to all your legends of the past.
I give compliments at whatever point to interject and give the man his praise because that goal was an absolute beauty.
I have no problem to do that at all. I think it was an incredible goal. Yeah, and I think he's just been great in these first two games.
Yeah, yeah, outstanding, definitely. And that sort of spearheaded the comeback. And I did feel with the first goal that the second would drop. And uh, despite the fact that the goal eventually came in injury time, um, from, of course, an own goal, I think that Lamine Yamal played a great game as well. Not his best, but he initiated that play and other ones for that matter. But eventually, bringing home the 3-2 victory. Unlikely at some point because let me start again with the first half. I want to know your thoughts, but how did you feel watching the way that Barça came out kind of lackluster? Do you feel that there's a sense of complacency maybe in this team at the moment with these more lighter teams? Obviously Levante recently promoted team. Did you think there was a bit of that? And how did you feel about the handball from the penalty call that gave the home side the 2-0?
Well, I thought I was actually, I mean, Levante's at home, so maybe I shouldn't be too surprised that they would play with some kind of bounce, but they exploited Barca's high line quite a bit, but it drove me nuts that, like, if they had just timed their runs a little bit better.
But we've seen it. This is we
I
know
know
we're gonna get this.
it's a jinx or like some kind of spell that they put on their attackers, and I can't even say anything because I saw Real Madrid do it over and over again against Barca. I think we saw a couple teams figure it out against Barca, but they were few and far between. But all you have to do is stay in your half. Like use the halfway line as your barometer. Like thou shall not pass. That's like they should just put like in training, like a big Gandalf there. Thou shall not pass. This halfway line, you cannot pass this halfway line. Time your runs there. And if you just hold your run, you're gonna get like 5 breakaways. And over again, they fell victim to the offside trap. But I mean, I think, look, given the the clear discrepancy of talent and budget between these two teams, I thought Levante played really well.
Mm.
And I thought they just ran out of gas at the end. You could see it. Shout out to Morales, who is like almost 40 and just hanging
Morales has
around.
been
Went to
a headache for
Segunda, came back
years, as
up,
far as
still
I
there.
remember. Totally
Yeah.
respects to the old man, El Capitan. No, El
So
Comandante Morales. That's his
that's
nickname.
right. That's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, 100%. But I guess what I'm trying to see from you is, and I saw a very clear change between, and I don't feel good about it. Mind you, this is not shade. I just feel like this team is a different team if at this point a Casadon is starting because Frankie is not available right now, right? Frankie, the reason he's not playing with the team is because he's expecting his newborn kid. I think it's his son to be born. So he's out for the time being, and Flick is rotating between a Gavi, a Casadon, and I was very happy initially to see Casadon in the starting 11, as I was with the Marcus Rashford. I just don't think that in this game, he had the impact on a team that is in a low block. I see more of an impact in Casador when there's a team that is disputing the ball. He's very good in getting the ball back, repossessing possession for his team. He's a workhorse, and he's somebody that I think se destaca más. He highlights his talents more in a team that is, again, more offensive than, let's say, a Levante that needs more the skill of a Gavi, and I think that leaves the burden off as well for Pedri to work his magic, and that was quite telling for me that how different Barça played in the second half. It was a much more identifiable style of play, if you will, from a Barça than what we saw in the first half.
Yeah, I think more urgency and coupled with Levante tailing off. You asked me about the handball, which I forgot to answer. To me, I don't like those handball calls. I don't think they should be called. I don't think there's anything that Balde can physically do in that situation other than cut his arm off. So, I know this one has been compared to other handballs. I know the Tchouaméni one in the Classico has been brought up, which is, to me, actually even worse because that's like a shot, like point blank at his hand. Like, he really can't do anything in that situation. Camavinga got called for a handball like this in the box last year, which it was the exact same as Balde. And like, there's nothing you can do with that. To me, none of those should be called handballs.
Yeah.
And I don't get it. Like, because like, every time the referee is asked to go to the VAR, from just my memory, it always gets overturned when that happens. And so I just expected him to like call the penalty there, but to me it's like, what is he supposed to do? Like, I really don't, because a lot of people will say, well, like, he made himself bigger. Like, I honestly feel in my heart that people who say that have never played football in their life.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, you don't think about these things. You're not trying to make yourself bigger. He's literally trying to turn his back. And so I don't think, I think those and again, this is the most difficult rule in football by far, the one that's most open to interpretation, the one that is the most ambiguous. It's never set in stone. It's always interpretation, is the handball rule, and we've never figured it out. And I don't know what to do about it. But I don't think I wouldn't have called it personally.
So I agree 100%. What is so frustrating about those types of calls is the inconsistency, the fact that it's not even a call that you could say is subjective, right? I mean, as you said, anybody that has played football, played any sport for that matter, that involves a ball, if it's getting kicked at you, you instinctively try to turn, you make your body smaller, tuck in your hands, and turn your body away from the ball. Last year, the Tchouaméni, I said that wasn't a handball. And I also found the Fermin Lopez goal leading up to which should have been the 5-2, also not a handball, as I didn't find this one a handball. It's like you said, the player cannot cut off his hand. It's indeliberate or undeliberate. Sorry, indeliberate, no? Indeliberate. Handball. Yes. And what I would just like to know, we talked about this last week as well. What is stopping La Liga or football in general as a sport? It's quite funny. I watched the field hockey World Cup alongside my dad for a couple of games that just finished a couple of weeks ago. Shout out to Holland, by the way, the women's, once again, world champs. And the men fell in the final against guess who?
Iran?
No, Germany.
Canada?
Holland, Germany. No. Germany taking that one away. But anyway, what was so enjoyable, so pleasant, was the transparency with which you would hear the referees discuss certain fouls, certain plays, Uh, even there's, and I think in ice hockey there's the same. There's a a green card that sends a player out for 2 minutes. They can give that card as well during, let's say, times of a foul if a player gets injured, or it's like a warning as well, right? Go out for 2 minutes. You hear the referees discuss, even in the stadium, you hear it yourself, kind of like American football, I suppose, what the referees are deciding, what they are basing their judgment on. And I would just love to know, we get like leaks of audios. I feel like they genuinely leak and edit the fuck out of it, and then like leak a certain phrases that still leave you kind of perplexed and holding your heart to say, like, there's no clear criteria that is being followed here other than a personal opinion upon the rules that is then being skewed, or again, it's just subjective, right? It's up to personal interpretation of how that rule is judged upon play by play, and it's different every single game, and it's sometimes also different in the case of Hernandez, who sometimes calls it one way and then the other way. So that's my big frustration with these and many other calls. I think right now, and I want to do justice to a friend of the podcast. His name is Levante. He's quite big on Twitter as well. I want to get his Twitter handle to give him a proper shout out. But he has put together, Kiyan, the famous Churros y Tacticas spreadsheet that we have been discussing for, I think, quite a few seasons. I've never really bothered to put together, but
What's his allegiance?
So he is a Barça fan. However, on his spreadsheet, you'll see he has but he's a very fair, mind you, he's Dutch, so he's very fair.
Can you share it on the screen so we can go through it together?
Yeah,
because I never actually,
you didn't.
you sent it
Okay,
to me, but I never
I
actually
did, yeah.
gave you my thoughts on it.
Right.
And I thought I would give it live on air.
Okay, perfect. So let me see how I do that. Present. No. Oh,
Present.
here.
Yeah, do it. Present.
Share screen. So you'll see that he has added in one of the columns those that, like, the verdict, like there's your verdict, my verdict, his verdict, and then the verdict of a fourth reviewer. Can you see, by the way? I've started sharing.
Yeah. I'm gonna add it. Can I just give one opinion on the handball before we get to it?
Please.
One solution that I would have is that, you know how in the NBA, if the ball hits your foot, its play is stopped no matter what,
Yeah.
even if it's not intentional. It's a kickball.
Uh-huh.
What if everything was a handball, even the ones that were not deliberate? But the ones in the case of like Balde or Chouameni or Kamavinga that we were just talking about, in those situations, instead of a penalty, it's just an indirect free kick.
That's not bad.
Thank you. All right. Here it is.
That's not bad.
Oh, hold on. I gotta
Okay,
fix
so
this.
his handle is at Barça Lev, and it's BARSA.
You couldn't even find. This is like
What?
the most obvious biased third party. His handle might as well be called "I am
No.
Diego's burner account." I'm a
Listen.
Kool-Aid, blue and red
Escúchame.
everywhere.
Can you listen? Take that out of your mind. You get to choose
Okay.
whoever the fourth reviewer is. It can be
I
the
don't need
most.
one. I
It can
just
be
use the
Florentino
facts.
Perez. Okay. No. But I think it's interesting to do it this way, and we can. I even am in favor of adding a fifth one that could be as neutral as we could possibly get. In fact, I have somebody in mind. He's Lebanese Canadian, lives in Montreal, doesn't give a shit about Barça or Madrid. You'll love him. He's a very lovable person. One of my closest friends. He could be the fifth. I already spoke to him. He said he'd be down, by the way. But so look, Lev, again, shout out for going through the matches so far, from match day 1 to match day 2, pointing out the.
Are you paying him for this? Because this is a lot of work
It's a
for a
lot of work.
friend.
I am not paying.
He must be your father to do this. This is like a full-time job.
Lev, if you want some money, you're gonna have to wait. I have no money to give, but I appreciate your passion,
Well, if
your
you pay him, it's going to
dedication.
be worse because now he's going to be super biased towards Barca if you pay him. This is literally Negreira on the spreadsheet. The whole
Yes.
system.
No. Look, he's got the Madrid Osasuna. You'll be very happy and pleased with his verdict.
No, I'm not, because already the last two are shocking. inclusions.
What?
Because first of all, the Oviedo. Yeah, I'm just gonna let you get to it in chronological order, so we don't jump the gun. But yeah,
Okay.
nonsense. But please,
No, it's not nonsense.
it
These
is.
are these are calls that happen that were quote unquote controversial for
And
lack of
why
a better
didn't your
word.
friend add in the 2
You can add.
penalties?
Okay, add it, dude. You don't. I don't expect
Okay, see, but I
Lev
don't
to
want to. I
add
don't want to
all of them.
go and add in all the stuff. Like I'd
Okay,
expect a non-biased third party to do this. Like, why do I have to go and add all this? See, this is already
Kian,
off to a
Kian,
bad start, Diego.
a bad start. Excuse me. The first podcast of Churros y Tacticas, La Liga season 24-25, you came with a score sheet that said 1-0 for Barça
Which
having benefit for referee
which
calls. So
which was
I'm
true at the
trying to
time,
be
and
more transparent and more detailed about that, other than
I
just you putting
I
up a 1-0 because you feel like it.
I get it. You're allowed to do that, but
Okay.
for context, they should all be added to the spreadsheet, and there should be some truth because in the notes there's a note that Oviedo players feel there was a foul from Chouameni when the guy who got tackled by Chouameni after the game said it was not
Yeah.
a foul, it was clean.
Okay. And my verdict was I was going to put here that I thought it was the correct call,
Okay.
as in I don't think there was a foul.
Foul.
In fact, neither did Levant, because I was texting with him yesterday. So correct call, correct call. You see, we're very fair. We're very fair. Correct for Kiyan as well. Who would be the fourth? I don't know, but anyway. But now we're spilling over to the Madrid game. We're still in the Barça game.
Okay.
But here in the Levante Barça, so there's the penalty given for Balde's handball, right? Incorrect is the initial verdict from whoever person is filling this out. Okay, this was Levy last night. Advantage, unfair advantage, whether it was given a team an advantage. You understand? Like an advantage for Barça, disadvantage, advantage for Madrid, disadvantage, yada yada, or not applicable. Then the verdict. Okay, I'm going to say that was the incorrect call for Lev as well. I think for Kiyan as well, based on what you heard. And I think that way you break it down play by play. If there's plays missing, you let us know and we can add it in
I
if
don't
you don't want to
remember the
partake in this.
Lewandowski one, just to be clear.
It was a tussle. It was not much talked about. In fact, I think it was the correct call. To be honest, I would have put correct here in this one. I didn't think it was a pen. Levy did, but I disagreed with him. Okay. So anyway, that's kind of the idea of the spreadsheet. I wanted to introduce this. I think it's the closest we've ever gotten to the famous spreadsheet, and the meme Diego put it on the spreadsheet. Well, now we can.
Well, let's
Again, big shout out to Levant. Thank you so much for going through all of this trouble. I think it's as detailed as and fair as it possibly could be. And yeah, viewers, drop your
so
comments.
okay, so
Yeah,
this is not my favorite thing to do. You know that.
I know, but it is. You also do point it out, Kiyan. Don't say you don't.
Just to give you a heads up, and this is honest truth. Yesterday, Real Madrid should have had 2 penalties in the first half. Do you want to know how much time we spent talking about on the podcast? 4
Mm,
seconds.
mm.
No joke. 4 seconds, and it's about 20 minutes into the podcast. And that was it. That was it. It was like not even a thought to even talk about it.
How much time would you spend on it if you would have lost that game?
More, for sure. Yeah. But I'm just saying, like, even the calls that go against us, we're not going to sit here and talk. But anyways, and this is just me explaining. I don't like talking about it, but we have to like so I don't have access to edit this screen right now. But
I
if you
gave it to you. I gave it to you.
okay, what if you scroll to Mallorca Osasuna?
Mm-hmm.
So I'd like to add 4 things probably right now to the spreadsheet
Okay.
because now I know I can't trust you nor your glorious Kool-Aid friend to add the other calls to it.
Mm-hmm.
Madrid Osasuna, Vinicius gets shoved in the box second half. And Catena, red card challenge on Carvajal, not called.
Okay.
I'd like to add those 2. You don't have to do it now because I think it will be boring for the listeners.
I'm not gonna do it now. Definitely
Yeah.
not. But
And then in Oviedo, Real
Lev,
Madrid.
who's listening to the pod, will take note.
Oviedo versus Real Madrid.
Mhm.
Rudiger gets fouled in the box. Masantuono gets fouled in the box in the first half. 2 instances. I agree that I think Hausen got away with the push on Rondon in the second half.
Mhm.
I don't think Tchouaméni fouled in the build up for that goal. So I would say Tchouaméni call correct, Hausen call incorrect, and then Rudiger and Masantuono calls in the first half incorrect as well. So just adding, and then I also have yeah. So if we took notes on it, are we done? Can we move on?
Yeah.
Okay. I have something to share here too because I prepared a graphic for you.
Wonderful.
So very simple. This is very, very simple. Games benefited by the referee this season. Barcelona 1, Real Madrid 0. Games negatively affected by the referee this season. Barcelona 1, Real Madrid 1. That's my tally. I'm just keeping a side tally here, just so you have it too.
But again, that's
You
based on
agree or
what?
disagree with this?
I disagree.
Which part?
Well, because first of all, I think we would have to go through all of the plays that you have added here that obviously have not right now. So I'd have to draw a tally and say, okay, Madrid were benefited 3 times and the referee hindered them 1 time. And overall, they benefited more in that game from the referee. Therefore, Madrid were also benefited in X game. And right now you have Barça at 1 and Madrid and with 0.
Yeah, I have it. I have the totality of it. So
Uh-huh.
if Real Madrid had 3 calls go against them and 1 call they benefited from, then that's negatively affected
No,
overall.
obviously. Yeah.
Yeah. So and by the way, here's my prediction. By the end of the season, we'll have a situation where if one team benefits more than the other, it won't be significant. And my point will be proven that referees suck for everybody. That's my prediction.
I hope you're right.
And I feel like that won't be enough for you. Just a heads up. I don't know.
No. I think if I could see something like that blatant, then you could sway my opinion. Yeah. But I just genuinely don't believe that is the case.
What if it's like overwhelmingly Barca benefit?
I'll be gobsmacked because that's that will completely
I think
stun
you'll
me.
be
The
shocked to
same.
know that this
No,
was the
no.
case for many
You
seasons.
ask yourself that same question, my friend. What if it just shows that Madrid not for and again,
I'm an
penalties,
open-minded
everything
person.
included.
I'm data and
I
evidence
don't know
driven.
if you are.
Yes, I
I
am.
don't know.
If evidence is posed to me, I will take it seriously. I'll be open-minded again. I'll be open-minded about it rather. But let's see.
But that evidence needs to be. You got to be open to the source as well. I feel like, let's say we have a Miguel Galan on, just hypothetically, and he puts forward a case where fuck this. I don't want to do this now. I don't want to do it. I don't want to go. You know exactly where this is gonna go. And you and I, we've had talks in private. We will have this discussion once again. But I want you to stick
Oh,
by your
we're
word
gonna
and
have
say
it
that you're.
tomorrow.
What do you mean? No.
Oh, we're gonna
Galan
have it
on
every day.
tomorrow.
Of course, we're gonna have it again. Yeah.
No, I'm saying like because you don't take my word for the fact that I think and I'm convinced, I truly believe that Madrid are and always have been the most benefited team in Spanish football.
Of course. Yeah.
Yes.
Of course,
But
they are the team that's being investigated for an 18-year window
of course,
where there is
it,
actually direct evidence of clear
then please,
benefit.
by all means, judge, come to a ruling and prove that we are guilty. By all means, please do so. And let's also continue this investigation that
I'm
goes a
working
lot
on it.
deeper.
I'm working on the evidence behind the scenes, by the way, which I'm going to send to the judge. I'm going to
Wonderful.
single-handedly take down this corrupt institution called Barcelona. I'm taking you
Kiyan
guys down.
Sobhani, you'll have me right by your side. and then I will urge you to continue
Miguel
that
Galan, I'm
investigation.
accepting assistance if you'd like to
I
help me
will
out.
I will be by your side and urge you to continue digging. Go down that rabbit hole and let's see what we find. So as long as you say and genuinely believe that and are true to the word that you're open to stats, to sources, to information, then you know, I'm happy. That makes me happy. Kiyan, I want to know about Real Madrid. I think Barça, like I said, we walked away with a scrappy win. As exciting as it is to make these comebacks, I do feel like you're Hansi Flick. You're not entirely happy again with what you saw. That's 2 match days now. Real Madrid, though, I told you I had the popcorn ready. I'm excited to see what Xavi Alonso can do with these players. There's a lot of hype. The Madrid press any Mastantuono move is, oh my God, he's got 70,000 Madridistas enamored in the Bernabeu in this caño when in fact it was not a caño. The ball got intercepted, but hey, it's okay. I can see the desperation is very palpable. It is not reflected though right now from what I have seen with my naked eye. I'm expecting more from Xavi Alonso. It's just 2 match days in the official season. Obviously, he's got very talented players, but I'm expecting more. I was expecting more of a high octane game, more intensity, more speed. I feel that I think that the young Argentinian player is a interesting prospect. I think he had a tough time against Oviedo, who are, of course, a team that also sit deep, don't give you a lot of space. So every time that he was fed the ball on the wing, he runs into 2 or 3 players, and there's very few players that can do anything in that situation, let alone somebody that is young and adapting to an entire new league. There's obviously clear signs there. Again, like I said, that he is talented. So I'm expecting this to get better. But yeah, it's a little bit. I felt it was underwhelming, all the while knowing that Mbappe was going to score. I thought it was interesting to see how Vinny lit the game up. I assume that that'll be the last time that we'll see Rodrigo. I'm not saying he had a terrible game. We'll see Rodrigo start over Vinicius. I kind of felt so when he scored that goal. I'm on a rant here, Kiyan. I'll pass you the mic, but to finish my thoughts here. I felt that when he scored the goal, I'm talking about Vinicius. He was screaming at Xavi Alonso or the bench. I felt like it was kind of like a confrontation to say, like, hey, don't put me on the bench again. I initially thought it was that sort, and that's why you saw Mbappe kind of, like a naughty child, cover his mouth and give him a smirk. But
It was directed towards the referee.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. So, but yeah, what, and I think that Hauser is, and I'm finished with this, is also a top talent, very interesting defender. But I do, and I'm was somewhat going to refer to that the 2-handed shove, although light. But I feel that sometimes he lacks also in concentration and maybe can commit to those kind of mistakes, if you will, that could jeopardize Madrid in a more difficult pressing game.
I guess I kind of want to start with the Vinicius point, because I think this is one of the things that, last night when we were analyzing the game, a lot of the stuff, and this is why I like to generally do podcasts the day after games, because there's so much you miss, especially if you record and you analyze right after the game. You don't really have a chance to see replays and see someone like, that stuff that you see on El Dia Después the next day on Spanish TV, which kind of shows you behind the scenes or different camera angles or stuff like that. And one of the things that I really didn't know about last night was the fact that Vinicius was just sitting there on the bench. Has never played against Real Oviedo in his life. He's receiving death threats from the stands, and he's just sitting there. He comes in, they're abusing the hell out of him. He scores. The referee, instead of addressing the crowd behavior, is telling him to stop celebrating. And obviously then he makes a gesture to the referee. And then on top of that, you genuinely didn't know. So, I guess I'll give you a pass for it. But on the ESPN feed. It was like so unnecessary. He was like, "Look at Vinicius gesturing to Xabi Alonso, like that's not good." I'm like, dude, you could have at least just waited to like maybe you didn't. There was no reason to
They
fabricate
said
that
that on
drama.
ESPN as well.
Yeah, live on the broadcast.
Oh, dude, I did not hear that either.
Well, you don't get ESPN in Spain,
Hmm.
but it's just another case of La Liga. Why it just drives me
But
nuts.
what about? I mean, again, I will have to plead ignorance once again. Take it as you will. Is this the truth? The death threats that Vinny was receiving, according to you on the bench, there's been
This
no
was
mention.
according to journalists in the stadium,
Wow.
and one of the Spanish journalists pitch side. I forget his name. I apologize. And then one of these outlets also what posted a video of it as well.
Look, you're gonna say that it's them against Vinny. Obviously, here it's very true that the vast majority of the media outlets paint the narrative that it's a Vinny against them thing. To debate that on this podcast, I think it's not productive because, you know, we've gone through that last season. I think
Diego,
those episodes were.
This is the
I
same.
think those episodes were not our best, and I cannot sit here and say, "Oh yeah, you're right, Kiyan. He was receiving death threats, and he was the victim of, and that justifies the gestures that he then therefore after did." I don't even really want to go to that down that road at especially not at this point, like not one match day or two match days in this case. And I think we saw what we saw. If you say there was something that triggered those reactions, then I'm open again to see that and hear that. But that's not initially what met the eye, let's say.
I mean, I don't even know what to say, bro. Like,
well, I don't know. That's why I'm asking you about tactical questions, and you're here talking about the abuse that Vinny received and stuff. I mean, I don't know what you want me to add to that, other than
Well, I mean, I think for me personally, the reason I would start with that first is because, again, as I said last night, we did all the tactical breakdown, and there's a lot of things that you just don't know until sometimes the next morning. In my case,
right.
some people who are more on top of it, I'm sure will be on top of it more than I am. But I really didn't see a lot of this stuff till this morning.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought it was important because I just hate this about La Liga in general. I just don't like, and we can take it from case to case basis, but like, please tell me, other than like, not you personally, but just general media and stuff and the way we talk about it, like, other than existing, like Vinicius did nothing in that situation to quote unquote provoke anything, which is often something he's labeled as. That being said, he comes in, scores a goal and an assist. I mean, it
was a great game.
I'm a Real Madrid fan standpoint, there's nothing else you could ask for.
Absolutely.
Other than to see Mbappe score a brace and Vinicius get confidence, which is what we needed. And I think, what's funny, Diego? Xabi Alonso got a lot of criticism from a section of the fan base, we'll put it that way, for benching Vinicius. And of course, by a section of the fan base, I mean there's a lot of NPCs in the Real Madrid Twitter sphere who don't give a shit about how Real Madrid does. They only care about Vinicius, right? And so Xabi Alonso got a lot of shit for benching Vinicius. I thought turns out it was a great. First of all, I think this is one of the most underrated talking points was that Rodrigo starts. When Rodrigo's in the game, he has to play against a low block.
Yeah,
when
exactly.
Vinicius comes
Absolutely. Is more freed up. Oviedo's chasing a result.
Right. And so for Vinicius, that's a great situation to get his confidence back. The game is open. He has more space to work with. And it's just a good look. And I just want to say this about Vinny, because in the end, I do truly love him. And it's in part because it always felt like he was one of us, right? He's been there from the relative beginning, not all the way, when he was 11 years old, but we signed him when he was
He's your
16.
closest thing to a Mazia product. Like a
Yeah, close.
Castilla.
Yeah, you're right. Closest thing. Yeah, this is closest thing. This is how PR works. How's Barça B doing, by the way, these days? They doing good?
I don't know. I think
How's La
they just had a
Masia? What are
preseason.
they in
They just
Segunda
had a
Z?
preseason.
Segunda
Dude,
Z?
expect Barça B to be good this season. Actually,
Oh yeah.
yes. A lot of the
Well, they
juvenil.
better be in Segunda
Yeah.
Z, wherever they
Well,
are.
but
They
they
might
got
as well be playing in
Barça
Canada.
won the youth league with the under-19 champions, and they've all been promoted to the B team, or a lot of them, yes.
Any thoughts on Nico Paz being Serie A's best player this season and last season?
Interesting that. Yeah, no, but I was still thinking about the Juvenil A. They won the triplete, they won La Liga, the Copa del Rey, and the youth league. Hadn't been done before, but Nico Paz making a good impact, huh? Teaming up with Morata there. It's the most Spanish Serie A in history. I think it's like 22 players in the whole league there. Most obviously
20,
in Como.
22 Spanish players in Serie A. Is that what you're saying?
Something like that. Yeah, I think it's more. It broke a record I saw, and yeah, a lot of them in Como, obviously. But yes, please finish your thought.
I don't know what were we
You're
even
the
talking
closest thing that Vinny was to. He's one of yours. Yes.
Yeah.
And
Obviously, we all want Vinicius to succeed. Like,
right.
we get frustrated a lot with his performances in the past few months. There's no denying that if you get the Ballon d'Or level version of Vinicius, this team goes to another level. Like, no sane person would argue against that. So for him to get back to his best is something that we all want him. When we want him to succeed. I also think this, like, the version of Vinicius that gets pissed, because obviously he kind of was like, and I mean this in a good way, he got pissed last night.
Like not
It's
pissed. In English, pissed means drunk.
no, that's not what I mean. If I think that, like, that's what kind of motivates him. I think it's going to be hard for people, like, people want him to separate that from his game. I guess my argument is I think he needs that to motivate himself. And part of the reason I resonate with that actually is because I'm like that too when I play. I don't like. I need some animosity. I need to kind of just jab my opponent off the ball to get riled up a little bit. I need to, and then, like, off the field, obviously you're just a different person. But I think he kind of needs that to kind of get himself going. So I kind of give him a pass for that in that sense. But bottom line is that I said this before the season, and I said Xabi Alonso won't care about hierarchy. He won't be afraid to bench people, and he did it yesterday. And I think it was a good sign. It's a good sign to let everybody know, like, you're going to be held accountable for your performances.
Let me ask you this. We have 1 minute
yeah.
before we got to wrap it up.
Oh, shit. Okay.
Vinny starting next game again?
Yes, he is. Yeah.
Sorry, I mean, so
Did you
Vinny's
want me
not.
to share this?
No, I was
Oh,
just
sorry.
looking. Yeah, it's okay.
Um,
No, but Vinny is starting the next game.
Yeah, he will. I think so. Yeah.
Is Carvajal starting over Taunt?
Interesting. I don't know exactly what's going to happen. I forget where, I saw somewhere reasonably reputable reported today that Carvajal is going to be the starter from now on. And I don't know exactly how much to read into it, but I think Carvajal and Trent will get rotated pretty regularly, if I had to guess. But I don't exactly know.
Mastantuono, will he repeat in the starter 11?
I think so, because he is the most natural right winger in the team.
So Rodri is back to the bench, Rodrigo.
I don't know if you've been keeping tabs. I mean, the two big
I saw
things.
it's close to. Sorry, yeah.
Yeah, the two big things since last night was that Rodrigo wants out, Ceballos wants out.
Yeah.
That's kind of one of those things you just have to monitor. I'm not sure. We don't have time for. Hey, the new dog.
It's the dog pound. Juno. I'm presenting you to the Churros faithful. Our new pet dog, Juno, 3.5 months. Is a handful, but look at her. She's a cutie.
What's her size? I'm gonna send her a Real Madrid kit.
She was the runt of the pack. In fact, I have to really, I gotta run because, like I said, I have to leave at 8, and I'm sure she left me a piss or a shit somewhere, which I need to clean up before. So
All
this
right,
one
you
gives
go.
us time.
I'm gonna. There's 4 super chats. I can address them if you have to go,
Ah, yeah, okay. Let me. Do you want to? No, look, she's
or do you want to
chilling.
do rapid fire?
Let's do rapid fire.
All right. By the way, Diego and I are going to be back on Thursday for patrons, patreon.com/Churros y Tacticas, which I don't know if you know, Diego, but that's the same day as the Champions League draw, I believe. So we can react to the
Oh,
Champions League draw. So it's going to be a big
tasty.
day. You'll see our reaction, patreon.com/Churros y Tacticas. Oscar says Real Madrid's defense is going to win La Liga in the Champions League. 2 clean sheets. We'll see how long that lasts once we face elite opposition. Alberto Pitar says Nico Paz or Gavi.
I mean, that question must be for you because my answer is clear.
I want to hear your answer now. Just because I need to hear your answer now.
Albertini, it's not even a question, my friend. Thank you for your generous donation. Please do make sure you subscribe to D Spot as well for your generosity. The trickle down economics on the Kiyan Sobhani channel is slow and not steady. So it's enough to see your
We're gonna
smile
send
when I
some
said it.
breadcrumbs your way. Don't worry. Yeah, no question. Serie A's best player right now is we know for sure Gavi will never do what Nico Paz has been doing
Oh
in
my,
even in the last 24 hours. What Nico Paz did, I don't think I've ever seen Gavi do
of
either of
course,
those things.
of
So
course not.
not even a question. Pranav Janhav says, come up with a deal to trade a left winger of Madrid for a right winger of Barcelona. Act as sporting directors. Any realistic terms. No salary or registration issues.
A trade. I mean, they don't really do trades, obviously, in
It's a
footy. This
hypothetical.
is like an NBA.
A
So
left winger for a right winger. I'll trade Rodrigo for Lamine Yamal.
Rodrigo, well, I guess yesterday he was on the left. He's normally right though.
I think
Naturally on the
more
left.
naturally
He's
left.
more natural on the left. Uh I'll go Rooney Bargy for Vinny.
Okay.
Hmm.
I think that offer will not be accepted. But Alberto says financially, how does Barca expect?
As if Rodrigo Lamine would, man. What are you talking about?
I think Real Madrid would accept. I mean, Lamine Yamal is like promising enough that you could argue he's
Stop.
never
Just go. I
he's
don't have
never
time
done
for
what
this.
Rodrigo
We
did
gotta
in the
go.
Champions
We
League. But
please, we gotta go.
Alberto Batar says financially, how does Barca expect to compete with Real Madrid in the next 20 to 30 years?
Mm.
Selling off rights, bad projects, and Florentino being the cook makes it difficult. Well, I can
Yeah.
tell you Florentino won't be cooking for 30 years from now. That's for sure.
Well, for both of the clubs, it's not easy times. Obviously, Barca were under a far greater financial strain, and that's why when we were asked on Patreon if we see the clubs become private at some point, my answer was a resounding and unfortunate yes. But to get the answer in full, please do subscribe to patreon.com/churros y tacticas and hit up the last churros Patreon edition to hear that answer in full. But in short, right now, struggle to compete. Yeah, I mean, we've been struggling. And if things don't change, well, I expect struggles to continue.
What's going on with the Camp Nou? That's my rapid fire question to you.
What's going on right now is a major setback once again because the Crow auditing company of La Liga that overruled the initial auditing company of La Liga that did deem this deal for the VIP seats enough to reach the one-on-one rule have come to the verdict that they will not be accepting it. So it's dire, quite frankly. It's a major setback that not, I think enough people are really talking about because how can it be that we are in this situation again? It's a head scratcher, and
And
there's
yet,
a lot to be said about that.
and
There's
yet,
a lot
so
to be
much
said about
shit
that.
thrown at Nico Williams when you wouldn't have been able to register him probably.
No, we cannot register. We've got everyone registered except for Bruni, and
So how are you going to register Nico Williams?
we've
How would you have
registered Juan Garcia and Marcus Rashford. They're registered. There's your answer.
Last one. This is in reference to your friend doing the spreadsheet. Timmy B says no one does this
Timmy,
kind of work.
hit him
free,
up.
dodge
Barça
stuff.
Lev. It's not me. He's got a way bigger account, and he's a real person. You can see him. So yeah, hit him up and ask him. Thank him for his generosity and his kindness, and maybe it'll be you, Timmy B. That could be the fourth verdict, or the fifth. So I'm looking for 5. All right, I gotta bounce.
All right, man. Good chatting. Thanks, guys. See you
Yes.
on Thursday.
See you
Patreon.com/Churros
Thursday,
y Tacticas. Thanks, Diego. Talk soon. Peace out.
Ciao.